We're all just her backup dancers, and it's kind of depressing. I think that my role in the company is to screw everything up to the smallest degree. Everything is always my fault. I work really hard. Sometimes I can't go home and study for tests that I need to study for because I have to go to ballet.
Many children begin dance as a fun way to exercise and express themselves. But as dancers mature, the pressure to be the best can become overwhelming. Many dancers find themselves asking whether the pressures of dance are more harmful than beneficial. Among dancers, there is a sense of competition from both within the studio and within the dance community as a whole. It can be hard to maintain self-confidence and a love for dance, and it always seems as though there is someone who can spin faster, jump higher, or stretch further. Liz is a 17-year-old who dances at the Academy of Ballet. Although she has always felt confidence in her abilities, she constantly feels compared to a single dancer who seems to always receive the best parts and praise for her abilities.
There's one girl in the studio who's kind of looked on as a goddess, and we're all just her backup dancers, and it's kind of depressing to know that we're looked at as like her, we're like there to make her look more better. Is more better the correct grammar?
Many dancers consider giving up the sport they love simply because the pressures of competition on a daily basis are almost impossible to put up with. On top of the pressure dancers feel from their peers, they also put an immense amount of pressure on themselves. In particular, the desire to have what is deemed the perfect dance body that is slim with a long neck, a shortish to medium length torso, long legs, and complementary long arms. Another dancer at the Academy of Ballet, Christina, shared her insecurities about her body.
Have you ever felt pressure to lose weight for dance?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have.
And who's put that pressure on you? Yourself, your teachers?
Myself. The teachers don't really say anything. They're very accepting about weight here at the studio, but it's definitely myself.
Okay, and have you ever felt like your body type isn't fit for dance?
Yeah, because I'm like really tall and more of a muscular dancer than like lean and bony.
12% of dancers have been reported to have an eating disorder, and this number is increased to 16.4% for ballet dancers. 2% of dancers and 4% of ballerinas have anorexia. 4.4% of dancers in general and 2% of ballerinas have bulimia. And 9.5% of dancers, 14.9% for ballet dancers, have eating disorders not otherwise specified. Sarah Young, an ex-dancer who struggled with an eating disorder, shared her story. The eating part of being a ballerina, and keep in mind that I was never a professional, is hard to comprehend. When you think of athletes, you generally don't think of them starving themselves. But ballerinas work an obscene amount of hours on very few calories. This is simply the life of a ballerina. There is always someone who is thinner than you are, or maybe be a better dancer, and the desire to have that edge over her drives you to do things you wouldn't normally do. Diet, work more hours, sleep less. You need to be small so that the male ballet dancers can do lifts, and even the girls who aren't being lifted need to be small. In fact, I now have a heart condition. I don't have a proven direct link, but I would bet money on the fact that it was caused from taking those dietary supplements. Being a dancer, you want to look graceful and fluid. The costumes are beautiful, but you know they'd be even more beautiful on a smaller body. And so, you skip lunch daily, or maybe you don't eat breakfast. You have a lunch that consists of only very low-calorie, non-fat foods. And eventually, you're just too busy to eat dinner with your family. It's classic anorexia, added with hours of dancing each day and each week. And for me, it just wasn't sustainable. I started doing ballet again last year after several years off, and I was so happy. And sometimes I was too happy to eat. But then I started recognizing that I was slipping into bad habits. I still have body image issues. So while I may not take formal lessons any longer, I still have the ballerina mindset. I don't think you ever lose that. It's a tough life, being a dancer. Dancing is also a sport that requires up to 20 hours a week of intense rehearsals and can take away from a dancer's ability to succeed in school, complete assignments, and maintain a social life.
I don't have a social life because of dance. My friends make fun of me. They're always like, you always say I can't, I have dance. I'm like, yeah, it takes up a lot of time. And academically, I work really hard, so I'm a decent student, but it definitely does get in the way if I have a major test, but I have to go to dance for a rehearsal.
With dance, you don't really have time for a lot of socializing outside of school, but you meet people at dance, so it's good. Academics. I do well in school, so it's good.
Okay, good. Do you feel like the studio helps you make sure you do your homework and make sure? No.
No. I feel a lot of the times people will come up to me and ask me if I can hang out, and I'm always like, no, I can't. And sometimes I can't go home and study for tests that I need to study for because I have to go to ballet.
The ability to balance every aspect of their lives is a skill that dancers must develop early on if they want to keep doing the sport that they love. With all the pressure felt within the small community of dance, recent exposures to the life of a typical competition dance team on the Lifetime TV show Dance Moms have made the pressures that dancers feel common knowledge.
Chloe, I keep hearing nobody can win because Maddie wins. Well, you know what? This is your shot. Maddie, I'm giving you the week off. Chloe, you wanted this shot, and you better win.
Abby is putting an exorbitant amount of pressure on Chloe. She's screaming at her, telling her, you're at the top of the pyramid, you better win, and it's to set her up to fail.
You're not gonna start tanning again with your hair still down. For real? Could have asked for a rubber band at the front desk, right? We're working on turns. It's taking you 20 minutes to get your hair up.
She can be tough.
Come on, babe, pot more right. Big sun, head up.
She can be very tough.
I know you're tired. I know this has been really long and hard on you. I do. I know.
I'm tired of dancing. Sometimes I just don't want to dance. I mean, I love dance. I just am tired and I need a break. Sometimes it's hard being one of Abby's favorites because there's so much pressure on me. Abby's always like, well, Maddie can do this and Maddie can do this. I'm like, I really can't do all that stuff. And it's I have to work so hard and I just feel bad half the time.
I remember when you had to beg to dance because Abby said you didn't have the passion.
I'm at the studio every second, minute, hour of the day, and it's just, I had to beg to have a solo because she wouldn't give it to me for 3 weeks because she thought I wasn't dedicated. And I used to cry when I went to sleep at night because I was like, she doesn't like me, she doesn't want me to dance anymore. My mom encouraged me to go talk to Abby and say I was ready to do a solo. Well, I'm totally confident and I'm ready to compete.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Can you beat everybody?
I think.
Well, but you don't look, you're like, yes, I think yes. Maddie, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Nobody cares. You act like someone's making you do it. I want to do my solo. I think I can do my solo. I'm ready to do my solo. Very wishy-washy. That's not a game face. That's not the Maddie face I know. The Maddie that's jumping and warming up, trying to psych Chloe out. You go out there with that face, she's gonna beat the crap out of you. Stop with the tears. Babies cry, not you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
It's my dance company. I say who's dancing and who isn't.
Well, now you know how I feel every day.
Yeah.
But it was only 3 weeks. You only had a solo 3 times in one season.
That is true, Nia.
It was 3 weeks without a solo.
I actually did tell my mom. I was just like, now I know how Nia feels.
This TV show, though criticized by many as too extreme, is an accurate picture of the pressures felt by a competition dancer on a daily basis. Though dance is meant to be an outlet of expression and a way to relieve stress, for many it has become a source of anxiety and has created insecurities that will follow them throughout their lifetime. For most dancers, it's been proven that the pressures of dance are more harmful than they are beneficial.
Even better than I was the last time, baby. Ooh, ooh, ooh,
Are we back?
I'm good. Ooh, yeah. I'm good. Better than that was the